And LeBron used to be Saks Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts because of all the stuff you talked about.
What's he now?
He's Ross.
No.
He's going to Ross.
Disrespect.
And teams, as you say, I get the numbers and all that, but you're not. No, I'm not trading for him. He makes too much money. I have to give up something. I'm not interested in that. And I'm not interested in just having LeBron for a year or two to sell tickets. I'm not interested in that either. And I think that the Lakers,
Rob Parker goes off on LeBron James for being traded. Check out what he had to say, and then I'll come back with my comments.
LeBron James, you want to just kind of lay out
So
what's happening and all these kind of stories that are NBA rumors that, will he be traded and what other teams interested in him and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. So, of course, he opted in on that $52.5 million player option.
Money.
And then you go back to the conversations, his agent, Rich Paul, saying, look, LeBron is, he would appreciate what the Lakers are doing, but LeBron is in a win now
He's here to
situation.
win.
He's trying to win. And then you go to what Dave McMenamin of ESPN said. He said that he's here in the Dallas. I'm told that they would only be interested in LeBron in a buyout situation. And then it starts the conversations. LeBron wants to, do you trade for him? Do the Lakers buy him out and let him go somewhere? And so that's where these rumors starts to become, he's trying to win now. We said this yesterday, even with signing DeAndre Ayton for a couple years, that didn't move. I said they went from a 7 seed to a 6.5 seed. You know what I mean? This isn't a huge, as they're comprised right now, that wasn't a big jump, big leap. So the conversation becomes, well, what do the Lakers do? And each moment that goes by, it's kind of and they're not talking and, you start to play around in your head a little bit. Would they let LeBron go? Would they pay him out? And look, I believe this new ownership, Rob, they're not doing that. They're not going to pay $52.6 million, whatever, buyout for LeBron to go away. I think they value still what he brings from a notoriety standpoint. I think there's still the hard thing about LeBron is he's still an all NBA guy, Rob. He's still an all NBA guy. So it's just letting him go for nothing or letting him go for a trade for a couple of guys who aren't that good. It becomes difficult. He has made it a very hard thing to balance because he's still better than 95% of the guys in the NBA.
I question his impact, but go ahead.
At the end of the day, LeBron ain't going nowhere. Yeah, it's good for clicks and views. Will LeBron James leave the Lakers? But at this point in his career, the championship he delivered, even though it was a bubble championship, it's still going to count on the books as a title. So, and then he's still playing at a good level, a B+, A- level, a top 10 player if he's playing at his best with no injuries. So the Lakers, even with new ownership, even with the acquisition of DeAndre Ayton, that's going to make their team a little bit better, much better center than the guy they had last season. So still going to be able to make some moves in the Western Conference. He shouldn't be in a play-in situation with that big three of the Lakers, but again, LeBron ain't going nowhere. He just wants his name in the media headlines. Keep his name going. Media day, he'll be happy, smiling, and ready to go for the upcoming season.
And that's fair. I'm not even mad at that.
Right? Impact
but
as far as winning.
When you look up and a guy nightly is getting you 25, 8, and 8,
yeah, still
who the heck is replacing that? But on the flip side, these teams realize, Rob, this is an era where they got to be deep. They have to be young. They have to have a bunch of players.
He's 41.
He's 41, and this ain't it. And it's the first time in his life he's not it.
Right, and we saw it in the playoffs where everybody was banking on who wouldn't take LeBron and Luka, and guess what?
Yep.
The Minnesota Timberwolves.
Minnesota, right.
We ain't taking it.
Exactly.
So I think he's at the first time in his life where he has to look in the mirror, and it's an unreal thing since he was probably 12 years old. You're not the best. Other teams will pass on you for the first time. Say, no, we're good. We're going to run with our youth movement or run with the squad we have now. And I think that's an unusual situation now. And I don't think many teams will bite or, take that bait like he probably thought they would.
Yeah, teams aren't going all out for a 41-year-old, even though he's one of the best players in NBA history, top 5, top 10, however you want to rank LeBron. He's still a legend, but teams at this point in his career, they're not going to be, debating, oh, should we get him, should we not? Now, if he becomes a free agent and you want to give him a couple million, yeah, it's good to have on your team. Ticket sales, jersey sales, merch, yeah, it's going to go up, but to try to trade for a player that's making $52 million at age 40, be 41 this year, I don't think that's going to happen. The Mavs, 50-50 interest, but you're going to have to get a buyout, and they're not going to trade a bunch of players for LeBron James right now. Again, if he's a free agent, looking for a team, completely different story. A lot of teams, they'll wait in line to see what's going on with LeBron, but a lot of teams are not going to give up 2 or 3 players just to match a $52 million salary for LeBron James. So again, LeBron, he'll be on the Lakers. He'll finish out his career. Who knows what happens with Bryce? Maybe he extends it a little longer to see if he can play with him. But again, it's looking like this is the last season for LeBron James.
I'm with you, and I'm just going to break it down. You know I'm into the clothes and shopping and all that. I love to go.
Yes, you are.
And LeBron used to be Saks Fifth Avenue.
Okay.
Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts because of all the stuff you talked about.
What's he now?
He's Ross.
No.
He's going to Ross.
Disrespect.
And teams, as you say, I get the numbers and all that, but you're not. No, I'm not trading for him. He makes too much money. I have to give up something. I'm not interested in that. And I'm not interested in just having LeBron for a year or two to sell tickets. I'm not interested in that either. And I think that the Lakers, aren't going to give him a buyout and give him money to a going away present so that some other team can have him. So I don't see where this could happen where he's going anywhere. And I understand the Dallas Mavericks. Sure, you want to take the veterans minimum,
Come over
about
here. Why
$5 million,
not? Fine, why not?
right? And you just want to play. Well, we'll do that. Anybody would do that, right? But he's not worth $53 million to a team, or giving up players to have him and having to pay him $53 million. Do you see what I'm saying? There's no, and this is one of the all-time great players. He's 41.
Still don't matter.
Plus,
though. Still don't matter. All-time great. But again, great analogy from Sack Fifths to Ross. So, yeah, he went to a high-end luxury to, your corner store brand that you can find stuff on a discount. That's where LeBron is at in his career. So even though he can give you between 25 and 27 points, he's one injury away from being all over. And you've seen the groin been nagging him the last few years. Those ankles, they just don't heal up after rolling them. If he rolls an ankle, he may be out a few weeks. So he's not able to recover like he used to, 20s and 30s. Now you're pushing 40 plus. LeBron, hey, get your money. You did good for the NBA. You helped a lot of people get a lot of money out there. The clicks and the views, shout out to LeBron. But, hey, bro, it is what it is. You're not the best person on the team anymore. The team doesn't revolve around LeBron. So even though Rich Paul says he still wants to win championships, his best bet, man, collect that check, right out to the sunset. It is what it is. You did what you had to do in your NBA career.
Think if you're the Lakers, if he were to have a farewell season, like let's say for whatever reason in the next month or two he comes out and says, I just want to let everybody know this is my last season. I want that in a Laker uniform. I want that to be. I don't want to buy him out so he can go have that for the New York Knicks, the reunited with the Cavs, or with the Warriors, so he can finally have 1 year where he plays with Steph. No, if you're gonna have this is it. I want that farewell just like they did with Kareem, and he was sitting there in a chair, and everybody's giving him rocking chairs around different cities and having fun. I want that in a Laker uniform. I want that to be what we talked about. I want that to be a part of our thing. So
now that could happen if he just signs a one-day contract with the Cavs and then retire. But to go on a tour and go from team to team, if he leaves the Lakers, it's just going to be a one-day contract with the Cavs, in my opinion.
This happened to have been that last season. Nah, bro, we're going to have that last season here. But too many teams right now in the NBA realize 7 years straight, different champion. And I'm sure many feel like we got a shot. I mean, in the West alone, you probably have legitimately 5 to 6 teams that feel like, why not us? Rockets. Why not repeating if you're the Thunder? Minnesota makes a move. They feel like, hey, we can be in this thing.
And
the Nuggets feel like we're right here.
And they've been on the cusp, Minnesota.
Yep.
And the Nuggets, we already know, they've won a championship, and now they've bolstered their team.
Got better.
Got the pieces that they had lost
Michael
after
Porter.
they won the championship. Bench help, some shooting.
Yeah, they're looking like, hey, man, the current champs, we took to 7 games, and we just got better.
Exactly.
Yeah, Nuggets got better. Got rid of Michael Porter Jr., but they added some decent parts on that team. OKC, they're going to be what they're going to be. Minnesota should be better with more experience. The Houston Rockets, of course. So teams are getting better. The Lakers, they're trying, but other than DeAndre Ayton, there's pretty much nothing else you can really do. You don't got a lot of money to go around. LeBron did opt into that $52 million, so he's kind of hurting the team, but his production should help the team with 20-plus points. So the Lakers, they're pretty much stuck unless they trade Austin Reeves.
So there's a bunch of teams, and then you got a handful of teams in the East who probably feel the same way. Hey, man, we got a shot to at least get to the final. Maybe we don't beat everybody in the West, but we got a chance to get there. So point being, there's not a heavy need base for him right now. And also, he's not even 38-year-old version of him. You say, all right, I'm taking a flyer. 2-3 more years of this, I'm taking a flyer on that. But the 41, soon to be 41-year-old version.
Yeah, it ain't.
And this Father Time, who was undefeated. Now, he is Father Time on a bit on the ropes with LeBron. Father Time's getting beat down by LeBron, but he's still undefeated. And at some point, I don't want to make that trade. And this is the year you finally snap a hamstring and you're out 40 games.
100.
And that's what it is. He's been very fortunate to not have too many crazy injuries that kept him out. So he's one injury away from missing half a season. So a team, they may take a chance 2-3 years with LeBron, but it depends on how much he's making every single season. If he's making $10 million, $5 million, cool. They'll give him $20, $30 million to be on the bench for 3 years, but I don't think LeBron James wants to end his career that way.
100%.
And now I'm sitting here.
But it is interesting that people this was a couple years ago, different story.
A completely different story.
But you cannot
take that
do it.
flyer.
I don't think that under any circumstance you would be interested. And all the reporting that I've heard is that no one's interested at LeBron as a player at $53 million. That's what they're not.
Yeah, way too much tax implications. You don't want to go over the luxury tax paying a 40-year-old about to be 41, $52 million. So it's best bet for LeBron, stay where you at, end the season, end your career with the Lakers. They drafted Bronny, so they looked out for you. But I don't think LeBron James is going to be traded, and he's going to remain with the Lakers.